So today I want to talk about where your energy is, there will your future be also. This is the title of today. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because as I'm growing in my doTERRA business, which is fantastic, by the way. There's a few people who are on here who have been doing this for years and don't feel like they're getting anywhere. And I'm the type of person, because what lights me up is serving you. What lights me up is taking people from like stuck to astronomically powerful. That's my joy. That's what lights me up. And yet, that's my gift. It's really easy for me to do that. In fact, my top 5, okay, let's talk about this. So my top 5 strengths are communicator. I can communicate the things that are on my heart really well. I'm a woo, so I can win you over. So if you don't believe me, I'll win you over. I mean, not everybody, but that's obviously it's a gift. It's a skill. It's a trait that I have. And then I have ideation. So I have all of these ideas that run through my mind at a constant pace, and I'm always trying to get better at the things that I'm doing and tweaking it. I have activator, so I can take my ideas, I can communicate them, I can win you over with, joining it, and I can get you to activate. I can get you from sitting on the couch to getting up and doing. I can inspire you. I can motivate you. And then finally, I have adaptability. I'm very adaptable. So if you say no to me, I can adapt to that. And I can say, okay, let me help you and know that I understand where you're coming from. And let me move you to the next level. So these are my top 5 strengths. What are your top 5 strengths? Because you could do the exact same video. You can say, here it goes. Here's my top 5 strengths, and here's why I'm amazing, right? So I have significance. I can help you feel significant. I have learner. I can learn things so people know that if there's something that they need to know, they can come to me because I probably learned about it. And so I'm powerful in that. I have empathy. I can sit down with you and I can put my arm around you and I can feel what you're feeling, and I can be a great listener for you, which makes you feel important and significant, and then da-da-da-da-da. So you can do the exact same thing. I don't have any of those traits. I don't have significance. I certainly don't have learner, and I definitely don't have empathy. Now, where I am an empath, where I can feel you, right? I can feel what you're feeling and I can understand. I was talking to Erica about this yesterday. Her and I are the same. Our empathy is way down low in these strengths. And we can get from like here, we can take you when you're, you're stuck, and we can say, okay, you're stuck. I got it. I understand it. Now let's move. Let's move from stuck to unstuck. Whereas some people like Brad, his empathy is higher up. It's not his top 5, but it's definitely higher up. And he can sit with you, and those of you who have empathy, you can sit with people and you can make them feel understood. Now I'm learning how to do that. And so I'm creating a better circle of safety for those who are closest to me so that they can feel safe with me, which is very important for those of you who don't have empathy. Creating a circle of safety is so important, right? So that they feel like they can grow, because if you take somebody and they don't feel safe, they're not going to grow. So as an example, and I think I've talked about this, but if I haven't, I'm going to do it again because I want to get it into your heart, into your head, into your mind, that if you have people in your team and they don't feel safe with you, or they don't feel safe in doTERRA, or they feel stressed out in their life, they're not going to grow to the next level. We don't grow. So as an example, if I'm in Africa and there's a tiger around a rock, and he's looking at me and he's got these eyes at me, and I see him, actually, no, let's just say that I don't see him. It's the unknown, okay? It's the unknown. Now, what am I gonna do in that point? So I maybe even don't even know that it's a tiger, but I hear this like, right? I get scared. And when mode, when my fight or flight mode gets from my brain into my body, what's going to happen there? What's going to happen is that all of the energy in my body gets out of my digestive system. It gets out of the frontal brain where all of my creativity is. It gets into the primal like brain, and the energy goes into my arms because I have to have that energy to fight or to run away, and into my legs. And so guess what's not going to happen? There's not going to be any growth, right? And what am I going to do? I'm going to run away from the unknown. I'm going to run away from the things that I don't know that scare me, and I'm not going to come back. So when you have people who maybe they're stuck at elite, or maybe they're stuck at premier, and silver is that roaring tiger, you know, maybe silver to them represents, oh my gosh, like having to love myself, having to hear no again, having to have, you know, people just make fun of me, having to you know, come inauthentic, or whatever the case may be. That's the unknown, and that's scary. And so what are they going to do? They're going to run away from the unknown. They're going to run away from silver. They're going to run away from gold, and they're going to run into the known, the familiar, and they're going to run away, but they're going to use all of the energy because they're stressed, right? They're going to get into that primal part of their brain, and they're going to get into their extremities. They're not going to have any room for growth. And you can talk all you want, and you can call them all you want, and you can tell them how great they are, and you can tell them how, you know, you just heard this great thing, or you can send them to all of these events, but they're not going to grow. They're not, because they're in fight or flight. They're going to run away from everything that you tell them. So we need to get people out of this fight or flight mode. How do we do that as leaders? How do we do that when we're trying to bring them in? We sit with them and we tell them how amazing they are. Now, this is totally off topic. I have to change the title because I don't know where this came from. But somebody out there needed to hear it. So and maybe I'll get into what I was going to talk about, but it's kind of the same thing. So what do we need to do as leaders when people come and they're stressed out and they're not growing? Do we need to tell them, hi puppy, hey young baby? Do we need to tell them to grow? Do we need to be frustrated with them? Do we need to have expectations on them? No, of course not. We need to love them where they're at. We need to serve them where they're at. We need to tell them what good things they are doing so that we create this circle of safety around them so that they can get out of fight or flight, so that they can move their energy from out there to in here into their heart. And that's where growth happens. Now, let me just share this, and this is the point of what my title is. When you have people who are in, you know, fight or flight mode, and you're trying to rally the troops and you're trying to get them excited and it's not working, and then you get frustrated, because of course we would. We're human after all, right? And so we want them to just grow, and we want the best for them, but we also want the best for us, and we're pouring all of our energy into these people who are just, number one, they're just stuck. You know, and they're in stress mode, and it's not their fault. They're in stress mode. They don't know how to get out of it. And unless you're somebody like me who loves doing that, which most people are not like that. Most people are like, oh my gosh, go get a life coach already. And you should. If you don't have that gift, and if it doesn't light you up to sit down with somebody for an hour and walk it through with them, then it's not your job. So don't think that it's your job. Your job is to love them, to say, hey, listen, I'm here for you. Whenever you're ready, I'm here. And that's all you need to say. And let them know that you're proud of what they did do. You're proud of them for keeping on showing up, even though they're not even getting any, you know, any highs from people enrolling with them. But here's the thing, and here's what I want to say to you. If you've been focusing all of your attention on those people who do not yet have it within themselves to rise, to surround themselves with better people, to get rid of the things that are causing stress in their life, people who are always busy, people who are always stressed, people who are always worried or anxious or depressed or, you know, or up and down, people who, you know, they don't get it. If you're pouring all of your attention on them, you need to stop yesterday. And you need to stop putting all of the attention on the people who are keeping you stuck right where you are right here, right now. And you need to move. And you need to focus on new people. You need to get out there and focus on somebody else where you are. So let's just say that you've grown, you know, you're in a new place than the people that you attracted a year ago. They're not going to change. unless you teach them how you changed, but you have to inspire them out of that. You can't just tell them what to do, right? But you attracted them when you were stuck. And so now doTERRA has called you into this new frequency, this new vibration. Now you're attracting new people. Focus on them. You always need to keep going, keep going. Don't stop and then now expect the people that you've attracted a year ago, where you were stuck a year ago, where you were in fight or flight a year ago. Don't expect them to now all of a sudden rise. Don't expect them to do the thing that you actually are not doing. So what I'm calling you out to do is actually just let go and surrender the people who are causing you to focus your attention on them. Now let's talk about a little quantum mechanics, shall we? Okay, so I have a degree in psychology, so this stuff lights me up. And right now I'm listening to a lot of Joe Dispenza. He's going to change your life. Just go watch him. And, you know, he talks about a lot of the science, and he says when you're looking at energy, when you're looking at waves, okay, in quantum physics, and, you know, there's a few things that I want to say about it that goes beyond the scope of this, but hear me on this. When you're watching it, and you're focused on it, whatever you pay attention to, it's going to play out one specific way. Probably the way that you expected to. Probably the way that you expected it a year ago. Today is a result of how you thought a year ago. Do you know that? Let me repeat that. Today is a direct result of what you thought about a year ago. So right now, if I think I got to go to the bathroom, those thoughts are going to take my body to the bathroom. If I think I'm hungry, if my body says, Donna, you're hungry, I'm going to take my body to the kitchen and I'm going to get some food. My thoughts create my matter. They create my actions, my behavior. What you thought about a year ago creates the behavior that you do today. Whether it's going out there and, you know, recruiting all of the sick, poor, and hungry instead of the powerful, you know, people that are also out there who want your voice, you know, but you don't believe in yourself because of what happened in the past. So that behavior now is created your future. So back to the electrons. As you observe these electrons, as you become whatever you focus on, it will behave a certain way. The waves will behave a certain way. When these researchers were looking at these electrons, and there was two slits, right? And then they put the waves into these two slits and these electrons, and they operate as waves. We now know this, okay? That everything operates as a wave, okay? And they observed that, and when they looked away, and when they stopped looking at it, it had a pattern, and it was a more predictable pattern, but or a more unpredictable pattern, okay? Or was it a predictable pattern? See, it's quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics is such that quantum mechanics doesn't understand quantum mechanics. That's the mystery of quantum mechanics. So I'll get that right, but it's a fascinating topic, and you don't need to know quantum mechanics to understand that as you observe something, it's going to operate one way, and as you stop observing it, it opens it up for possibility. This is crazy stuff we're talking about here. All of the mystics of the past, all of the things that we knew before is now turning into science. And what we're saying to people, and what I heard Dr. Joe say is, you know, don't wait for science to catch up with what we already know, because now science has turned into your religion, and you're waiting for science to tell you what to do. The truth is that as we surrender, as we let go, we allow those waves to go into the universe and create new possibilities. But as you're focused on the people who are not exciting you, then you're not going to be excited, and you're going to turn your future into lack of excitement. As you're focusing onto the people who frustrate you, you're going to turn your future into frustration. As you're focusing on the people who are saying no to you all the time, who are sick and poor and hungry, and they don't want to make a difference in their life because they're so tied up in the familiar, they don't know how to get into that unfamiliar, because they're so caught in that stress, that fight or flight mode, that they don't know how to get themselves out, right? And you do not care to counsel the world's problems, and you don't have to. Your job is to love them, but the potentialitis in you is seeing the potential in them, and so you're staying focused on them in their stuck state, and therefore your future is stuck. You create by how you feel in your past. And if you're focusing your energy on these people who are stuck in fight or flight mode all the time, then you're stuck in the past, and your future will not be something that you are in love with. And what Dr. Joe says is be more in love with your future than you are with your past. And the only way to do that is to stop the Goliath that's in the body, and allow you to take over and be the master of this body, because this is where your energy is. This is where all the emotions of the past lies, right? And so if you can get out of the energy of yesterday, you will be in love with the future, because it'll be powerful. Now, how do you do that? By living in the present? Well, you be in gratitude. You focus on the things that are true for you. You focus on the truth of who you are, which is absolutely fantastic. And I know that doTERRA brings in an energy to me that I've never experienced in my life. Like, I feel like, can you feel my excitement right now? Because I feel the energy of my future, and I'm grateful that it's already here. And yet for the last 4 years, I've been kind of semi-retired, well, fully retired on the pipe, semi-retired on the support, but I had been stuck focusing on all of the problems of my past, focusing on what I didn't have, focusing on the snow, focusing on the lack of freedom that I felt. And for 4 years I was stuck. And then Dr. Joe comes into my life. Actually, Guatemala came into my life first, and then it was a series of events, and now I feel more free than I've ever felt before. And I know that it's because doTERRA has a vibration to it, and it's high, and it's crazy, you guys. And it will bring you to your highest self. It calls you, and nothing else will call you. Nothing else will challenge you like doTERRA that I know of. Because, and again, it's not about the money. You know, you sit here and you're like, oh, Donna, I'm stuck and da da da. Pretend you're already rich. Be grateful that you're already rich, because, and then it won't matter if you aren't rich today, because you'll already feel it. You won't be in so much of a rush. You won't be so desperate, because you'll already feel free. And as you feel free, that's when you open up the surrender, and the possibility comes without you even trying. I've seen this multiple times, you know, women who are like, I'm done with men. And then all of a sudden the right one comes along. Or women who, you know, have striven to get, or who strive to get pregnant, and then they, you know, they try and they try and they try, and then all of a sudden they just surrender and they let go, and then all of a sudden their body becomes pregnant. I can't tell you how many times that's happened. You know, it's the same thing. We strive and we strive and we strive to hit silver and gold and diamond and solid, and then we finally just gotta let go and surrender, and then things just come. Things will happen. Now, this is not an easy, you have to do work. You know, the hard work isn't, I'm telling you, the fastest way to get there is meditation. And I hated meditation. Oh my gosh, I hated it. I was like, no, I have ADD. As soon as I close my eyes, I have thoughts going through my head. And so I feel less anxious when I'm meditating, or when I'm not meditating, than when I am. But the truth is that all I was doing was opening my awareness to the fact that when I close my eyes, my brain is blah, 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 always talking. And I didn't even realize how much my brain chattered until I stopped and closed my eyes. That wasn't meditation, that was awareness. Meditation is something completely different. But you see, when you go to the gym and you lift up a weight, say, right? And you just lift it up and you go to the gym and you're like, I'm gonna join the gym. And you lift it up and you lift it here. And then you're like, okay, I'm done. Awesome. And then you look at your arm and you realize, well, that didn't do anything. And then you stop lifting weights. You stop trying, because you're like, well, that didn't do anything. Meditation is like working a muscle. It is not something that you do the first time, the second time, the third time. And if you try to like get muscles the first time you meditate, to work your meditation muscles, if you try to be a mystic the first time you meditate, well, no wonder you get frustrated and quit. Because you're not seeing the results. The results don't come the first time you lift your meditation muscle. It's time. But every single time, and I promise you this, every single time you close your eyes and your mind wanders, just allow it to wander. Just say, yeah, brain, yeah, you're a thinker. You're a great thinker. I see you. I see how much you're thinking. Okay, it's time to come back. And every time you bring it back, Every single time you bring it back, you are working that meditation muscle, and it will bring you to more focus of the surrender that I'm talking about. It will bring you to that place where you fall in love with yourself, maybe for the first time. It will bring you to that place where you feel like, yes, the future is here right now. And the world of possibility will open up to you. And so if you want to let go, stop all your trying, stop all your expectation, just get out there and serve. Doesn't that feel better? As you get out there, like, what is your purpose? First, you have to know your purpose, because if you're just getting out there and saying, well, I just got to do the work, well, there's no fun in that. Find your purpose. And then the last video that I talked about, I walked you through this place to help you bring your doTERRA alive. Go get that video and go watch it and go through that exercise. And as you do, you're going to feel that there's purpose in your everyday activities. And you're going to do it because of that purpose, not because you have to hit gold, not because you have to be rich, not because you want freedom, but because every single day you have purpose, and things will happen so much easier without all your trying, without all your stress. Get yourself out of that fight or flight mode in order that you can grow, and teach that to your team. And you will have an alive, beautiful, beautiful team of excellence. I hope this served you. Thanks for listening. I know that this was a 21 minute, it's going to be 22 by the time I'm done. But this is important stuff. Keep watching these videos as I come out with them, or as other people come out with them. This is the learning part, but now take it into action and do the work. Right now, if you aren't doing anything else, why not right now? Just find that energy. Go listen to Dr. Joe and learn how to meditate the way that he talks about it. I've been meditating for over a year, longer than that, but like consistently every day for over a year. And I started out with 20-minute with transcendental meditation, and now I'm moving into Dr. Joe's meditations. And honestly, like, I'm meditating between 45 minutes to an hour every day, and then checking in as my day goes on, and my life is unfolding in the most beautiful ways, and I feel alive. And so just check it out, or do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. There's no right way. It's just doing the work, of some of the things that I'm talking to you about. So I hope that helps you. You guys have an excellent day. We'll talk soon.